Welcome to So and So, brought to you by BERNINA, made to create. I'm Meg Goodman, and you're about to enjoy a casual conversation with some very special people. Today's episode is one for the archives. We've gathered 4 incredible BERNINA team members who traveled to the set of the 21st season of Project Runway to support the contestants using BERNINA and Burnett machines. You're going to hear firsthand what it's like working behind the scenes of one of fashion TV's most iconic shows. Welcome to So and So. Let's go around the room. We've got 4 people joining us today, and let's find out who you are and what you do here.
Oh, perfect. I'm Megann Freese. I work on the education team. I help on the sales side, and I got to help out with the awesome experience at Project Runway.
Awesome.
My name is Fabian Renteria. I am also on education with BERNINA. I am garment focused, and I also got to help with Project Runway.
Hi, I'm Hayley Grzych. Surprise, surprise, also part of BERNINA Education. I'm the top of the line specialist. So mostly I focus on the BERNINA 990. So this was a little bit step outside of what I normally do to work on Project Runway.
And I'm Jaime David. I'm the education project manager. So I partnered up with our marketing department to help put together our team that went to support Project Runway.
So the 4 of you were there firsthand. We're going to hear your stories today, but let's start off with what we'll call a lightning round. If you could summarize your Project Runway experience in just one word, what would that be? And anybody can jump in.
Uncertainty.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Every day was uncertain what we were going to do, like down to the minute. But we're planners here. So, and my job is to plan. That's what I do for education all year long, is kind of try to plan schedules and projects. And so this one, it's like, we kind of knew what we were going in to do, but we had to go with the flow, and we never knew quite where they were going to be in the schedule or if that day was going to land the way we thought. Yeah. So there was a lot of uncertain moments.
I would say unreal. It was kind of one of those, whoa, like I see this on TV, I've watched all the seasons, and then to be there and see where Heidi was going to stand or where the designers were going to work at was like, this is happening. This is crazy.
Kind of the same thing as Megan. For me, it was surreal because Project Runway has been a big part of my life since I started designing, and just seeing how it's actually done and seeing the contestants in real life was amazing. Yeah.
I would say chaos.
Easily.
You're all painting a picture here.
Yeah. I mean, you watch the show and you see they're on such a time limit to make what they make, and there's like we would walk in between challenges. Basically, we're seeing one challenge wrap up before they go to runway and show what they've made, and to walk into those rooms and it's just like mood explodes in that workroom. There's fabric, there's thread, there's sequins,
needles,
there's stuff everywhere, and you don't know like what you're walking into that day, and know that somehow at the end of the day when you leave, everything's going to be tidy and put back in its place, and the movie magic of it all. Yeah.
So you guys have set this really well. We kind of know what we're getting into. Fabian, I'm going to start with you because you said that the show's been a big part of your life. How did you find out you were going to be on the set, and what was your first reaction?
I found out through a different meeting that I was in for a different subject, and I was told that I was going to be part of the crew, and I couldn't believe it. I was like kind of on the jaw, like my jaw on the floor basically, and I was like, cool, like and then just kind of thinking like, okay, I'm going to get to see David, Paul, and Nick Varios again because they were mentors in school that I had in school, and so I was just very excited to get to go for sure.
And Fabian, I mean, he's in LA, so when he went to help support, there was some miles involved to get him there. But I think for us, it was really important, to try to connect the dots, to give the moments for our team to have opportunities like this. Is kind of, we never know when stuff like this exactly will come up. So, it's like anybody on our team is capable, and that's the great thing about having such a good team. But yeah.
So Hayley, how did you find out?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, probably Jaime told me, this was kind of in the works, but I don't know if it's really going to happen. So I can't say any like hard, yes, you're going to get to do this. That's how so many things are when we get to be a part of these kinds of projects, it's like really trying not to get your hopes up that like this incredible thing is actually going to happen. And this one did. And, you know, like Fabian, like started watching Project Runway when I was a kid. Bernina's been working with Nick Barrios in different capacities. I watched his season when it was on, and now like
it goes way back.
Way back.
Right?
Yeah. You know, when I was learning how to sew and teaching myself, and then watching the show and being inspired by it, and now in my age realizing I'm not a fashion person, so that worked out for me that way. But still, like walking in there, and you know, it is very surreal, and to have that moment of like, oh my gosh, I get to tell. One day, not now, but one day I get to tell my friends and family that we get to be a part of this thing, and they actually know what it is.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen a lot in what we do behind the scenes in education.
Any other good stories, Megan?
My connection is through Jaime. She approached me again early on before we knew very many details about anything. And Jaime was the ringleader of all of this and said, hey, we're going to go to Project Runway in this capacity. We're going to go early to train all the designers and train them on the machines that we're bringing to set. And it was kind of like, okay, first of all, do I know that machine? Okay, let me figure that out.
Crash course.
Can I train them on this machine? Okay, got it. And just not knowing their sewing background, their experience with even BERNINA, if they even knew what BERNINA or Burnett was, and trying to train based on that in the machines that they're currently sewing on, trying to make that connection and say, this is just like that. Here's how we're going to do it on this machine.
Yeah, so, it's very different because they usually use industrial machines. In previous seasons. So
yeah, so it was fun. It was fun.
Jaime, how did all of this come to be? How did this all happen?
So, like I said, it came through our marketing department. So the vice president of marketing was talking to me because I've done some previous things where I've gone to support some filming things. We have a few things like this that have popped up. I think Hayley's done some too in the past. So it's like, so she kind of knew it was happening, but there was, like I said, the uncertainty. Like it was like it could be this week or this week. I don't know yet. And it's like, but I was like, from my previous experience being on production, knowing that, you know, the length of time for this production and all of that, I was like, definitely we have to reach out and have a bigger team. It can't just be one person that's tapped into this. So that's the thing. It's like going from what I know on productions. So I work on a lot of the productions that we do in-house, which are our style. It's, you know, not totally a formal production style, but we're pretty good in-house with what we make at BERNINA. And then having been on a TV show before, I knew like we need more people, like especially just the amount of stuff that I knew we were going to be sending in for this, unboxing that, setting it up, like maintaining it. With BERNINA Education, kind of at the forefront of that always is the user's experience. So the designers that were coming to this show were our users. And so we wanted them to have a certain experience. And I think, you know, like I think Fabian mentioned, they're used to working on industrial machines. And so these are domestic machines, you know, very robust, very sturdy, great machines. But I knew that we would need to train them. And that was one thing that they knew that we would do and provide for them. So I wrote a schedule that was basically, you know, we're going to go in, we're going to unpack, you know, Megan and I are going to do this training. It's going to happen on a day.
Yep.
I don't know
we don't know what day.
You know, we did it on a Saturday and it was all day. And, you know, she and I were super charged up because we were the first interaction that these people had for probably a week, you know, when we went to go work with them and introduce them to our product. So they loved us because I think we're just ready to see someone, you know. So they
just wanted to see another. They wanted to talk to someone.
They got us and a sewing machine.
Yeah,
so it worked. Stoked. It worked pretty well. Yeah. And then Fabian and Hayley came in and maintained the set basically every other week. And it's like, so I just kind of gave them a start day and an end date, and I'm like, do your best, you know, like, and I think some days were longer than others for them, but definitely we appreciated being able to provide to them a very turnkey Burnett experience with this.
So they sequester the contestants.
Yep.
And they have faces from the outside.
Yeah.
Right.
It was tough. It was tough when we went in for training because, we went to basically their apartments and talked to each of them about the machine, but we had to be very careful that we couldn't over explain or say something to just one of them that we didn't say to everyone. And we couldn't really talk about the other designers, obviously, or what their challenges were, even though we may have had an idea based on our setup, what was coming. So it was kind of tough to just be, here is just the machine.
and we only had 30 minutes.
And we
Megann.
had 30 minutes with them.
So it's like Megann did 6 people, I did 6 people. And it's like, and that 30 minutes just flew by.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It was fast. It was fast. But yeah, and giving them the crash course on not only the threading, but the accessories and what they'll have on set available to them and trying to answer their questions about it. It was fast paced.
There was the day on set that we got to train too.
There was the on set training.
We had Hayley came in for that one.
That was a crazy day.
That was their first day. And of course, the production was running really slow. And so it's like, we were sitting there waiting, trying to bump into Heidi Klum when we could.
We tried. We tried our best.
Did that work?
We saw her.
Not
Okay.
work.
Yeah, we saw her. Yeah.
So we had a lot of downtime there for a minute. And it's like, and then we finally were told, okay, you're going to go in and train. And we had a divide and conquer plan like we do in education. So we were like, you're going to do this machine, I'm going to do this machine, and you're going to do that machine. And we're just going to rotate them around. And so we start, and then they're like, oh, sorry, we have to come back to this because we've got to take them all to mood, which wasn't close to where we were.
No.
So it's like, and I'm like, does that mean we're going to be here until like 9 p.m. because I really want to go to bed,
And that was a store where they would shop for things.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fabric
Okay.
Fabric shopping.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, drop everything
Yep.
and pause for like 4.5 hours while we go shopping and come back.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of sitting around
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you film
A lot of
things.
hurry
I'd say
up and wait.
if it taught me anything, it was like, have a plan, throw the plan right out the window.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was, be prepared for just about anything
Yeah.
because it will happen. Who knows?
You had to be flexible.
Let's talk about a typical, and I'm air quoting this, a typical day on the set. Tell us your stories. What did you have to juggle? What was it like? What do we hear? Chaos, unpredictable.
So the kind of schedule throughout filming, most of the challenges really are just single day challenges. The way you see it on TV is pretty true to how it shakes out. They would have, your runway day, basically every other day. Come in the morning, last touches, they're sewing. We come in and we're just like kind of on hold, like be ready to go. As soon as they're done and actually go to the runway, then here's your chance to go in. Designers go all over to the runway set, and we come in and triage, machines. We're fixing machines. We're cleaning up. Every single machine gets, clean oil, fresh needle, maybe new parts.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna find when you walk in there. And there was, 20 machines to service every other day, and then leave the room completely spick and span as if they had never been there in the first place, for them to have a clean slate when they start the next day.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say not only that, but rearranging the set too for the challenges that they were having, like the actual sewing challenges, and maybe that required more machines or different types of machines. So rearranging, unboxing or reboxing machines, moving around the set.
Yeah,
it's like the sewing fairies arrive.
The sewing fairies were there.
This is the title for this episode.
Yeah.
The sewing fairies.
They switch the sewing machines for sergers as needed, and they fix everything and clean it. And if we could have that in real life, that'd be a great thing. Maybe we can bundle that with the machine purchase.
Yeah.
Were you able to talk to the contestants during this, or did they just tell you couldn't because somebody might get an advantage, or did they police your interactions?
I don't know that they policed it, but they really do. The production team really keeps it very contained. Each one of the designers has a handler. Every time they step off from the sound stage, it's, the announcement, designer walking, because everybody else on set knows more than the designers do. So we would be off to the side talking with production about, okay, once they're done, here's what we're setting up for the next challenge. The designers don't know what that challenge is yet. So you have to be really mindful of who's around you when you're talking about these things. So the designers are so contained.
Yeah.
And they're it's not that we couldn't talk to them, but there's just not the opportunity. You interact with them. We met them all, with training and stuff. Everybody was so pleasant. They recognized us when we'd come in and be like, "Oh, hi, Bernina." Yeah. Everybody was really nice, but our interactions, I think, were quite limited.
Sure.
I think, and me and Jamie had a little bit different capacity going in and training them. But we had a production with us kind of monitoring the time of how long we were with them, and then also how much information they were given to. So we were able to talk to them in that training portion, but then after that, it was a free-for-all for them, and they were busy.
But we had somebody with us too. So, Megan and I also had somebody from the production that was there basically keeping it even and fair and all of that. Yeah. So it was pretty interesting. And I was there at the beginning and then at the very end, right? So no one here got to be there that day with me, I guess. So it's like, I'm sorry. But when they were doing the final runway, we were back in to tear down. And so it's like, so there was a little bit of the, I guess, excitement for that particular filming, and people's families were there. So the contestants' families were also milling around in the hallway outside of the stages. And so, I did see some of the contestants back. So they were all back. And giving hugs, and
Aww.
It was nice to see them before they all went in and did the finale.
Yeah,
cool.
So they had some unconventional materials challenges, and you all were talking a little bit about prepping for these things. What goes into setting all this up, and is there a time limit?
Who was there for that one?
I don't know if I was set up for that one, but I was there for
the aftermath.
Okay. I definitely remember walking in and seeing Yu Chen's model with the soccer balls on and be like, "Oh, I would have never thought." We saw that. Okay. Like I said, every turnover was so chaotic to come into. Honestly, it was not any different from whether they were using, denim like 2 weeks before or a soccer ball. Yeah. Like the aftermath, the shrapnel, the chaos. It was the same. Yeah. Which, I think is also a testament to our machines. Yeah.
For sure.
That it works
through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you see, the final result is the same.
Yeah.
Didn't you help Nick sew the burlap sack?
I was gonna say the burlap sack.
The denim challenge, where they're the mystery fabric challenge. Heidi and Christian are on the runway with the 3 mystery burlap sacks of fabric, and they have to pick which one they're going to use. And I helped Nick set up for that. He came in, in a tizzy. We need these burlap sacks. Stat. And so, I helped him set up, and we're, it's a simple project, but the two of us are sitting there like, we need these. They're doing the runway. They're doing judging right now. They're going to shoot this next section as soon as runway's over. We need this done. I'm like, okay, I'll stop cleaning real quick and help you sew these and, get back to it.
But I also feel like that's a testament to like what the actual fashion industry is like. Like everything is last minute. Everything, like you need it in the next 10 minutes or you're done. Like,
yeah, fashion and TV in general, like people do not realize it is a huge production. This show's been on, this is the 21st season of this show, and there's still those things that's like, oops.
Yep.
Yeah.
We forgot to plan for that.
Here we
go. Like Megan was saying, like you make a plan and throw it out the window. There's always going to be those curveballs that get thrown your way. And
there were so many people there.
So many people.
So many people.
So many people.
Yeah.
And everybody has a job.
Yeah.
It's like when they run the credits at the end of the show. Who are those people?
Yeah.
Right.
Now, the phrase "make it work" is, and I'm sure that there were many moments when it was pressure packed, but then everything came together. Now, you were talking about the burlap sacks. Any other stories like that?
I think some of the setup, because we really didn't know what the set was going to look like.
Oh, Megan, the day.
me and Jamie had to walk away for a second. We came back, we figured it out, but it was, we're working with several components. We have the cabinets, we have the machines, we have all the accessories and the thread, just figuring out where all of that was supposed to go and how it was supposed to be set up, what was going to be best for filming angles we had no real
and they're
idea.
moving cranes around us and building walls on top of us.
Still.
And it was so loud, and it was real. And
it was real,
exciting, and there's probably nothing like it. But yeah, that day,
they were painting behind us, so it was like a ladder a foot from one of the tables. The crane was over top of me. I was like, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna get out of the way. Yeah. The setup was kind of crazy, and because everyone's excited about the season and they're all doing their components too.
Sure.
Just not really sure what was happening.
Fabian, did you experience anything like that?
Honestly, not really.
Mm-hmm.
The times that I was on set, it was pretty straightforward. Like, if anything, there were times where there was a lot of like hurry up and wait, like that kind of thing. But as far as like high pressure, like high tension situations, I didn't really experience that. Other than like Allura Star, like splashing water everywhere on my last day.
That's
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I was on the phone with Jamie, like, I've tried everything and I don't know why it doesn't want to stop doing this. But that's about it. Yeah.
So we're going to go around the table, and I'm going to ask each one of you to answer this. What was the most memorable moment for you? Something that made you laugh, surprised you, but just something that stuck with you. Megann, you're making a face.
I know.
So we're
I
going to start with you.
I don't think I can say it on. We might have to cut this. But so I was doing the training, and my very first designer that I was training, I was with production and then Nick, and they were knocking on his door to let me in so I could train. I had my little machine with me. There was a machine in the apartment already. I'm just waiting outside the door. I'm kind of nervous. I hadn't done any training yet. I wasn't sure how fast it was going to be, and just kind of scared waiting outside. And the designer was not opening the door. We're all kind of looking at each other. What's going to happen? And finally, after 2 or 3 minutes, he finally opens the door, and he's only in a towel. I was like,
welcome to the show.
Yeah. He's like, come in. I said, no, I'm gonna wait. I'll be back. So yeah, it broke the tension, but it was like, really, this is the first experience.
Meanwhile, I'm walking down the hallway to go to mine, and and I see Megann, and I know Megann very well, and I see her very red face, and I am just like, what did you guys do to Megann?
I didn't know what to do. I was like,
blushing a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna leave my machine here. I'm gonna go get a snack. You do you. I'll be back. And we'll train.
That's a moment.
That was a moment.
Thankfully, everyone came to the door closed for me.
That's
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you, though.
Well, it was fun. Sorry to carry on with that. Later on in the season, when I went back, the same designer was again shirtless on set for some reason, like ironing his shirt. I'm like, we really have to stop.
He pulled his shirt off to iron it before they went to the runway. So
I'm like, we have to stop running into each other like this. This is not the way.
For me, I think it was the first time I had been on set. I was already super like, not nervous, but like excited, and like the adrenaline was going, and like I had gone back to the production office to grab something from our little corner, and on the way to the sewing room, there's like that main door that you walk through to get to the stages, and then like Heidi Klum's dressing room is right there, and her Sofia Vergara, and like I think it was either like their entourage or like production, they were all walking like through, and I walked through them, and I basically brushed shoulders with Heidi Klum and Sofia Vergara, and I just walked through like, did that really just happen? Like that was probably like the most like aha moment that I had like the whole time that I was there. It was awesome.
Was there like a fan blowing on them as they walked by? Hair going.
Flip,
I think they carry those with them.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the first day, just watching everybody see the set, I think for me, like getting to see Megann's reaction, and we had another girl, Alyssa, from marketing that was with us, and she was a longtime fan too, and so the two of them were like literally almost in tears, and for me that was exciting because it's like, look, I mean, like that we're able to kind of make this thing happen, and it was really cool to walk into set and see the logo on the wall, and watch them basically dress the set the whole rest of the time.
Hayley, how about you?
I don't know. There's a few particularly memorable moments. There's like, seeing Heidi in the hallway. Like there was one day I was standing in the hall panicking about something, talking to Nick, and like I've been moving machines around and I'm sweaty. And this is a job that like, I'm not wearing my business casual on set. I'm wearing my work clothes because I'm running around in sneakers and I'm sweaty. And Heidi comes out of the dressing room with a photographer in front of her, like walking backwards, snapping photos of her walking onto set. And I'm like, feel just like a sweaty goblin mess in the background. And I'm like, I can't wait to see that on Instagram later, like in months when they're finally promoting the show. But then, you know, the TV drama, there is an episode, there's a dramatic storm out during judging, which I didn't see. I don't really have the context for it at this point, but Megann and I are working and we're kind of in the hallway, and one of the designers comes out, you know, from the sound stage, from the set, and like basically collides with us and just like kind of pushes
we're
past
carrying
us
machines
and like
we're moving,
is walking with purpose. And we're just like, what was that? And then we see the cameraman, you know, with this big
sound,
you know,
the
40-pound camera on his shoulder, booking it after this designer. We're like, oh, something just happened.
Yeah.
And then like kind of sneaking around to watch the footage and seeing them like crying out on the street. And we're like, what is happening here? This is reality TV, my friends. This is it.
The moments they wait for.
Yeah.
Oh, they love those.
Yeah.
So for all of us who are listening to this, you know, we're always on the viewer side of the screen, but you all got to see all of the backstage stuff. Was there anything that surprised you where you've seen the show before, obviously, and you all of a sudden come face to face with something and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, was there something that just really struck you?
I mean, we all, for what we do on the education side, are in front of the camera quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see kind of behind the scenes is really interesting. And Megann and I were just talking about this, of being able to watch in Video Village, like watching all of those camera feeds come in, and now watching the finished product. There are like 8 camera people in that room.
Yeah.
You would have no idea watching the way that they like dance and
they
follow
avoid
each other, and nobody's in each other's shot, and how much they're able to get that looks so seamless when they put it together is really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
But they're filming so much and every angle and all day long.
Everything.
Yeah.
And they practice. I mean,
Yeah,
we were there
they
when they were
stage it,
practicing.
yeah.
They had people standing in for the designers so that they could practice their camera angles.
Yeah.
Is there any moment, you know, we were talking about things that surprised you, anything you'd like to like rewind and live again? Except for yours, Megann.
I know. I'm like, maybe not that one.
I saw
Maybe not
that face again.
Fast forward through that one. I think for me, it would be just going back on set the first time and just, seeing the workstations, seeing where our machines were going to go, seeing the runway, and, you know, in the setup process was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would just go back. I would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Probably around the same kind of thing that Megann was saying, just that first initial like walk onto set and being like, wow, like this is what it looks like in real life. Like, and not to mention all the camera angles and stuff like that.
The dance they do is so impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I had just watched more. You know, they are such long days, and it's very much hurry up and wait. Get there at a certain time. They have their production schedule every single day. They know when they're supposed to be doing runway. Almost never was runway at the time that they schedule it to be, but that's how that stuff goes. And, you know, we come in and we work, and then by the time we're done, you know, I had some like 10, 11-hour days on that set cleaning up after what they did. What they did.
What had happened.
Sounds so dramatic that way. But like, you know, the production team was so kind. They were so welcoming. Nobody was ever weird about like just being an observer.
Yeah.
There were a couple days where I would, once I was done, because I live not far from where they shoot the show. So I stayed home and just drove over. I commuted.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some days where I'm just like, I'm so tired. I just want to go home. And I would go home. But some days, that judging, that deliberation process is so long. You see like such a glimpse of what happens during that process. You know, they spend probably 5 minutes talking to each one of those designers individually about their look, about what they did. And you see like a sentence or two edited down in the show.
Yeah.
And to watch their feedback and also listen to the designers and talk about their process and their experience using the machines. It's so exciting when they would take the time to shout us out to like Heidi on the runway, be like, those BERNINA machines were so great. And I'm just sitting there like, yes, they were. Yes, they were. But to like slow down, really soak in the moment, take the time to be there when you're there and just watch and be like, wow, I actually get to do this.
I think, not to be off topic, but Hayley mentioned how the designers love the machines. And I think that was one of the surprising things to me is we so often are very delicate and gentle with the machines. You know, we sew very differently from how these designers were sewing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Going back, they are not that.
They will push these machines to the limit. And I think it's a testament to our machines too, that they performed beautifully. They made these beautiful garments, but going onto set and cleaning up and seeing maybe the disaster that was around each machine was probably something I was not quite prepared for. I was like, oh, there's 20 broken needles here. Okay.
The pressure of the challenge.
Yeah. But I think it was cool just to see how creative they could get with the machines and how much differently they used them compared to us as users.
I mean, I think for me, it's like, you know, I'm going to just kind of go back. We'll just bookend this from where I started, right? Again, it's about the community and the relationships that we build, but also that I think came back like working with Nick and David, who were co-executive producers. And I think they just helped ease the designer's experience, you know, throughout the whole season, but also ours, you know, like that. Yeah. They were really great to our team and making us feel welcomed and part of it. And they had like a brands manager, Noel, who we all adored.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And so, you know, we're all together this week, and Noel was pregnant the whole time, you know, during production, and she's pulling these really long days, but super nice, you know, so major props for that. But we're together this week and we're working on a quilt for her baby. So it's like, I think those moments where it is the community and the people that you meet and the experiences that you have.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Noelle was incredible. She was such a great support and like cheerleader on those long days. She was always like, what can I help you with person?
Yeah.
And Nick and David, like Jamie said, you know, Fabian knew them already. I hadn't really met them until I walked into that set. And I've told them both this since then. We saw them at BERNINA University, you know, last month. Like, to walk into a set like that is so intimidating for us. Like, I'm nobody compared. I'm walking onto, they let me on the set of Project Runway to walk in there, the production value, the people, the chaos of it all. And to have somebody there that's like, they're so kind, they are so warm, to have somebody that like immediately feels like an old friend when you walk in. Like, I'm solo and I need one of the union guys to operate the lift for me because I've got to move 3 machines off of the soundstage and I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to go. I know I can talk to Nick or David and they've got my back and they'll help me out. Like, those people really made the experience, our team on production, Nick and David, Noel, Rich also, Jamie worked with him on a show before. Really great team to work with.
Absolutely.
You know, you're starting to allude to my next question here. So talk to us about what the whole experience taught you, both professionally and personally.
Often talk about this with my team, you know, it's, you know, there's stamina and flexibility, right? And I think those are probably 2 themes that we've got here. You know, it's like, it's exciting. You're going to maybe be exhausted. So it's like, you know, try to set yourself up the best you can. But it is, you know, it's a little bit unknown, but now I think we all know a little bit more. And, you know, it's like, I don't know. I think we'd all do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was just that level of production and doing something completely different than we do in-house here in terms of our videography and our classes and teaching. just being able to see their production and their setup and also the flexibility of that, but just taking away some of the lessons learned from that and bringing them back here to our in-house team too.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it helped me learn a little bit more about being flexible, just because going into it, I was very much like, okay, I'm going to have this amount of time to do this, and it's going to happen at this time, where once I got to set, it was the complete opposite of that. And it was like, okay, now I have to just learn to go with the flow. And that's definitely one of the biggest lessons I took away from being on set, for sure.
Kind of tying back to what we were just talking about with the team and like Jamie was saying, and this really like I watched unfold on set. There was a day, a challenge, a designer. I don't even remember who at this point. And I don't know if it will make the cut in the show, but one of the judges was giving this designer feedback about how important it is not just to do good work, but to be a person that people want to work with. And, getting the job done is important, but that, taking the time to be friendly, to build those connections, to build that community, people are going to want to work with you. If you're, they have the option of somebody who's doing the work at 90% or 100%, but they like the 90% person better, that's who they're going to pick. And you want to, thinking about like, I want to be that person. Nobody gets it right all of the time, but I want to be the person that people want to work with.
I think personally, it confirmed for me that I will not be a fashion designer.
100%.
It confirmed for me that I cannot work in that pressure. Obviously it's boosted for the reality TV, but just some of the challenges and the materials they're working with, I'm like, no, I'm good.
I'll stick with quilts.
Not my thing. I'll do some garments, not in this capacity. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hayley, you mentioned what it was like when they talked about BERNINA. So you were BERNINA's representatives there. How did that shape how you feel personally about the brand?
I think it's, for the brand, this is a company I'm so proud to work for. I'm proud to be, I'm 33 years old. I've been here for almost 9 years. I have no intentions of going anywhere. I'm going to die at BERNINA. I love it here. I love my team. I love what we do. But I think that as a brand, our audience is people that already know sewing pretty well. And it's so exciting to think about this as I know people that watch Project Runway, but they know that Brother makes sewing machines, even though they don't sew, because they watch another brand have machines on this show for so long. And to think about the opportunity that we have to put BERNINA and Burnett in front of people that wouldn't have considered us otherwise, just because they don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And this is such a huge following, a huge audience that, we get to be in front of now. And to have the designers speak well of the product and, potentially, have some relationships with those folks after all is said and done on the TV show, as they continue on with their lives is also, I think, a testament to how it is to work together.
I would say that it definitely brings on sort of a sense of like comfort and reassurance that BERNINA believes enough in me to send me to Project Runway to be a part of that kind of project. So it and then it kind of goes back to like reinforcing my love for the brand and the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You all got to know the contestants and everything. Is there any message that you would like to send to them about what they taught you or their work or the tools you provided? Anything you'd like them to know?
Oh, I just think they're so impressive. I mean, I'd say you're doing amazing things, and I love that you can do it with our machines too. And you're so creative. Give me some of that inspiration. Thanks.
Yeah. I would say they're all definitely talented, and there were so many different backgrounds and different aesthetics, and just because you got kicked off or you didn't make it to the finale doesn't make you any less talented.
Yeah, for sure. There were they throw so many weird things at these designers. It's truly, and we watch, for a first on Project Runway, have them like vote somebody off. That's never happened before. So
that was crazy.
That hurt my heart.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But it really isn't a testament to how good anybody. The fact that they were there, they made the cut in the first place. Like everybody was so talented, so kind, so lovely to work with, and it really is so exciting to think about, like I said, we've talked to a couple of them about what, they might want to do with BERNINA in the future. And there's so much that we wanted to share in like the training and talking to them that's really like, oh, I don't want to be leading because I know what you're doing next. So I don't want to like set you up.
Yeah.
But like, so many creative things. And one of the designers, Yu Chen particular, like, we've talked to and has expressed an interest in doing machine embroidery, which you do not have time to get into when you've got 24 hours basically to make a couture, garment, and thinking about all of the potential that, they have and our product has to offer them, with a little bit more time. Is exciting and inspiring.
Yeah, and they can find us for more hot tips about how to use BERNINA features. It's been really fantastic to see their show. So it's really cool to feel so connected to this particular season.
So we've talked about a lot today, but at the end of every episode of So-and-So, there's one more question. Is there a question I didn't ask you that you wish I had?
Well, I've been asking. I mean, I did ask everybody if they would go back. And I think I did get some head bobs from most of this crew and maybe even some other people on our team that would be like, yeah, I'd do that.
I guess I want to kind of spin it. Would you go back in the capacity as a designer?
There you go.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, Fabian, yes.
Hard pass.
I know.
I think
absolutely yes. Hard pass.
Yeah. There was an episode where Madeline is like stressing kind of about the time and the pressure and the constraints. And I'm just like, she and I are a lot of like, I want my space to kind of think about things and plan things. And I'm not a time crunch kind of girly like that.
We have a lot of pressure in our job, but not that kind of pressure.
We have enough.
Not that kind.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. Megann, Fabian, Hayley, Jaime, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us.
Thank
you.
It's been terrific to talk with you all today. Thanks so much for taking us on your wonderful adventures behind the scenes at Project Runway. It's clear that BERNINA wasn't just providing machines, you were providing support, encouragement, and solutions that help the contestants bring their visions to life. And that's exactly what the BERNINA spirit is all about. Be sure to subscribe to, review, and rate this podcast on your favorite platform, and visit our website, soandsopodcast.com, for more information about today's and all of our guests. That's SEWANDSO podcast.com. And finally, I want to thank BERNINA of America for making this program possible. I'm Meg Goodman, and I look forward to you joining us next time on So-and-So.